Well, it's looking like the market is about to do a complete 180 degrees as inventory continues to dry up and buyer demand starts to increase. If you're new here, my name is Iain Phillips. I'm a local realtor here in Orange County, and I like to upload videos talking about what is going on in the housing market, showcasing homes in different cities, deep diving into the data, and as someone who is very active in the field, I feel like I get real-time information as to what trends are occurring in Orange County. So first of all, we had a pretty serious fire that occurred in Los Angeles, and since that has happened, I've had multiple people reach out to me saying they're no longer interested in buying in LA and they're actually looking in Orange County. And I think this trend will likely continue into 2025 as people start to realize insurance premiums are going to skyrocket in LA and there are likely to be more fire risks over there compared to Orange County. We have had fires here, but since I've been around, they haven't spread into residential areas, and certainly nothing like what occurred in the Palisades fire, because that has been the largest and most devastating fire in history. But let's get into what is happening in the housing market here. So we've had days on market increasing over the last 6 months or so. It's now taking an average of 38 days for a house to get into escrow. Not for a house to close, but just to get into escrow. Now, of course, you have those homes that cancel, go back on the market, and that is a pretty significant increase compared to the low of 20 days that we were seeing last year for a home to get into escrow. Now, that is a pretty serious seller's market, and right now we are shifting more toward a neutral market. This week's major news is the pending sales, which is usually an indication of buyer demand, but I want to talk about why this is different. So we are seeing pending sales lower than the peak of the financial crisis in 2008. Now, when you read headlines like that, you might be thinking, home values are falling off a cliff, no one's buying a house. If there are less homes in escrow than there were in 2008, prices must be dropping substantially. And that is just not the case at all. We are seeing prices level out. And we've had a pretty decent correction since the middle of 2024, down roughly 6 to 7%. But I want to talk about why pending sales are so low. And that is simply due to inventory. While inventory has increased a little bit, we are still only seeing 3,600 homes available, and that is significantly lower than the historic average of 5,000 homes on the market. And I want to point out this chart very briefly because that will essentially tell you why we are not about to see house prices falling off a cliff. And that is historic average active listings. And as you can see right here, in 2008, there were almost 20,000 homes on the market. And this is where we are right now, around 3,600. So for everyone who is thinking, is this a good time to buy? There's no homes available. Supply is being bought up. And with the fires that happened in LA, I guarantee you Orange County is going to be in higher demand than most of Southern California. And that's really been the case for the last 25 to 30 years. Home values have appreciated significantly more in Orange County relative to Los Angeles. And further evidence of inventory drying up is the monthly supply of homes. And right now, if everyone in Orange County decided, I don't want to sell my house, it would just take 2 months for all the homes on the market to disappear. Now, of course, that's not going to happen, but that just shows you how many more buyers there are compared to sellers right now. And that is why I think 2025 is going to be a pivotal moment in the housing market. And if we see inventory continuing to dry up, unfortunately, we could have house prices appreciating wildly 10-15% again, but that is not my base case scenario. I do think there will be more sellers this year compared to last year. I'm optimistic inventory will increase, but as of right now, since we're starting the year, that is unfortunately not happening. We are currently seeing more buyers than sellers in this market, and I promise you, I'm having more and more people reach out to me every single week deciding Orange County is going to be the place they want to be in Southern California. So is Orange County a buying opportunity right now? Well, let's take a look at the average list to sales price. And right now, homes on average are selling for 2% below their original list price. So that tells me that buyers currently have more opportunity in the market than they did throughout the last 4 years or so. But as a result of lack of inventory, I think this is going to change. Now, historically, Orange County has been around 100%, so usually whatever the house is listed for is what it will sell for. But having a 98% or 2% below that original list price is a buying opportunity. And what I've been talking to with my buyers is if a house has been on the market for 60, 90 days, let's offer 5% below list price. And let's just start the negotiating process, because you never know if you run into a seller that is maybe a little more desperate than others. Now, if I turn your attention to the average sales price, as you can see, we go through historic periods of having big booms, a correction, another uptrend, and correction, another uptrend. We went sideways here, another uptrend, and then a correction. And historically, once that correction is over, that is when home values start to appreciate yet again. And confirming that we have a lack of inventory, we have more buyers stepping into Orange County specifically as we start 2025, I think it's only inevitable that we have home values increasing this year. Now, if you've been following along, if you've been watching me on TikTok, where I have around 20,000 followers and I upload videos every single day, last year I was talking about how I think it was not a good time to buy. And once I started seeing that trend shift in how long it was taking for homes to sell, available listings, as well as the average list to sales price, I flipped. I was saying in the first half of 2024, it is not a good time to buy. Inventory was increasing. We started to see days on market increase as well. And then in the second half of 2024, we saw inventory starting to get bought up again while prices were declining. Now, if there was a case where we saw inventory continuing to increase in the second half of 2024, I would have told you this year, house prices are likely going to drop, and I would just wait on the sidelines, wait for good opportunities before stepping into the market. But in Orange County, we've just seen inventory continuing to decline, available months supply declining for the last 3 or 4 months. And we just continue to see more demand here than most of Southern California. And that is why I think it is a good time to buy a house right now. Now, if you're a seller, do note that homes on average are selling for below list price. Homes on average are taking a lot longer than they have for the last 1.5, 2 years to sell. But that means if you're a buyer, you can have a little more negotiating power than you have for quite some time. And if we see that switch in the real estate market where buyers start to realize this is a good opportunity and less sellers want to sell their home because they're anticipating increase in median sales price, then we're probably not going to have that buying opportunity for much longer. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're in need of an agent in Orange County, whether you're buying or selling, reach out. I'd love to chat. I have people reaching out to me every single day, and maybe I'd be a good fit for you. I'll see you in my next video.